Why rinseless washes are better than normal car washes. Find out why coming up next. Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for joining me today, and thank you for clicking on the video here. So why do I feel that rinseless washes is, in fact, my opinion, far superior to normal hose or pressure washer wash with your bucket, with your wash mitt or wash pads, whatever you want to call it. Let's just say soap and water. For lack of a better term, we'll refer to things as rinseless and soap and water. So why is rinseless so much better? Number one reason, water savings. Now, most of you watching probably don't care. You say, hey, I don't really care. You know, or you have an aversion because the government is telling you, hey, you can't spend money on the water, you can't use water outside, whatever it is. But to be honest with you, being hard-headed is not a good excuse for why you shouldn't try something new. Secondly, a lot of code restrictions. So it's not just government. Well, it is government. Code restrictions are government. But sometimes it's HOA restrictions. And, you know, there's a lot of HOAs out there. Some of you guys know just how bad certain HOAs can get. A lot of times, you know, they don't want you doing that stuff out in your driveway. And, you know, that's what you signed up for. You got to abide by those rules. So there might be some HOA restrictions. And then the other reason why would be maybe you don't have a paved driveway. Maybe you have a gravel or just a dirt driveway. And so adding all that extra water on your driveway is going to result in a mess for you to not only to drive through, but on your shoes. So that's number one. Number two, time savings. So when you do a rinseless wash, now rinseless does not mean that you don't clean or wash off any grit before the actual contact wash process. So let's get that out of the way really quick here. You have your normal bucket wash and then your normal rinseless wash. Now in either event, you shouldn't touch your paint until you've washed actual grit off the surface of your car. So if you're doing a rinseless and you have grit, mud, whatever on the side of your car, you should stop at the wash bay and just quickly pressure wash that all off the car. And then you can either wash it there if there's nobody around, or go home and do your rinseless wash. Do it that way. If you're doing a normal bucket wash method, you're going to want to spray that off first before you go into your bucket wash method. Either way, you have to get that grit off your car. So now why the rinseless wash is better though is once you do that contact wash with rinseless, you just dry it off. It's that simple. You don't need to rinse. So you're saving water, you're saving time, rinse time, and then you have a dry car almost immediately afterwards because you can go panel by panel. You can rinse, and in fact, that's what you're gonna see today. I just go panel by panel or section by section of the car, and I'm going to sponge and then immediately dry, resulting in no water spots, things like that. And in fact, that's my next point here, is that there's less chance of water spots. And because of the chemical makeup of rinseless washes encapsulate, the chemical makeup encapsulates minerals and dirt, making it safer and easier to pull it off the paint. What that also means is that when there's dissolved solids in the water, the rinseless wash encapsulates those dissolved solids, the minerals in the water. And so if you do have, or if the rinseless wash dries on the car, what you have is just polymer spots in general that you're able to wipe away very safely. And if you don't feel that it's safe just to wipe those polymer spots away, all you need to do is spray more rinseless wash onto the surface, the clean rinseless wash that you might still have in your sprayer, and then you just wipe it off with your drying towel, and you should be left with a perfectly clean car. And now this is even better, is because you encapsulating those minerals. If normally, in fact, in most of the country, the government considers 500 or 600 ppm of total dissolved solids or less as safe for your water supply. So some areas of the country have, municipal water has 50, 80, 100. I'm at 115 at home. Out at my other place, out of the well, I'm at 165 total dissolved solids. Other people on forums have reported they have 400 and 500 almost total dissolved solids. So if you're just hosing your car off or rinsing with just plain water, and you go and you don't towel dry right away, you stand a great chance of having water spots on your paint that you're going to have to take care of afterwards with the water spot remover, or hopefully there's no etching involved because you missed one somehow. So waterless, or rinseless I should say, waterless is completely separate, but with a rinseless wash, you're alleviating that entire possibility, or you're helping to keep that entire possibility from happening. Now, the other thing is, and one of my big reasons is safety in winter. So half the country in the wintertime has freezing temperatures, and in some places even more than that. So with a rinseless wash, you're only, when you spray off your car, you're only getting between a quart and maybe a half a gallon of water on the ground versus your normal wash method, which you're going to use 10, 15, 20, or even 30, 40 gallons of water. So there's less chance of you having freezing water on the ground and slipping and falling, winding up in the ER. The other thing is, it's cleaner and easier to use. And in fact, that's why you see me today in this dress shirt. Is I want to prove to you, or at least attempt to prove to you, because I've never done this before, with rinseless washing, there's less opportunity for you to get wet and ruin your clothing. And so to prove this, I wore a button-up shirt, I got my jeans on, and I have this pair of cowboy boots that you can see right in the picture here. And what I'm going to test is, I'm going to see, can I wash my whole SUV here with rinseless without getting myself wet or dirty? Now that said, the last reason, and what my whole point of being here is, you could pretty much use it anytime, anywhere. And I mean, there's certain restrictions for that, but what I mean is, I'm at the park right now. I'm gonna wash the car. I was at another park, a couple weeks ago when you saw me do the DIY detail video. In fact, I'll link that below so you can see that one. Sometimes I'm at home. You could do it at a rest area on the highway on a trip. You could do it, you could take this to your relative's house. You're going on vacation, you visit your relatives, you just bring your bucket of supplies. In fact, I'm gonna show you this. You just bring your bucket of supplies with you. You say, hey, you mind if I fill up my bucket? I'm gonna go wash my car. You don't need to worry about asking them for a hose. Oh, can I do this? Can I use all your water? Things like that. You don't want to impose on your relatives. Well, hey, all you need is 3 or 4 gallons of water and boom, you can wash your car. So anyway, having said all that, those are my primary reasons why rinseless washing is far better than your bucket wash method. And let's go into the supplies really quick now, what I'm going to be using and what I generally keep in my rinseless wash kit. So the first thing I always use is an IK sprayer. This is my Multi-Pro 2, and this is a Multi-Pro 2 360. And what it is there's just a pickup, oh, sorry about that. There's just a pickup tube here, and it is, depending on which direction you have the sprayer, the pickup tube follows that direction. So no matter what, you're always able to pick up the solution out of the sprayer up until the point it's empty. The other thing I always carry in my bucket is my rinseless wash sponge. Sometimes it's this one, sometimes it's my DIY detail. In my opinion, the DIY detail is far superior. It is the best sponge on the market today. Sometimes I have both of them with me, sometimes one or the other. Then I have obviously my bucket, and in this bucket specifically, I like to use the mitt slide from Auto Fiber, and it just sits in there. The dirty water sits in the bottom of the bucket, and then no matter how much water you have in the bucket, you're able just to rinse. You can use this as a scrubber. If you use towels, you can just scrub them across this. No big deal, all good. And then today specifically, we're going to be using the Koshemi RRW for the rinseless wash, diluted 1 to 256. And then finally, just my gloves here. And and you'll see in a moment the scaffolding. I have like a platform that I use instead of like a step stool or step ladder. So having said all that, if you don't want to watch me, I'm going to speed up the whole car wash process, But if you don't want to watch that, I'm going to put the time code right here below. Go ahead and skip or fast forward to that time code, and I will give you my final thoughts on that, on how the process worked. You'll see how if I got wet, or dirty in the process, and we'll go from there. So anyway, thank you for watching, and let's get to the rinseless washing. All right, so what I also have is a platform stool. I got this at, it's a Werner. I got it at Lowe's. But if you have an SUV like I do here, what you are going to need is some type of stool platform. The last thing that you want to do is open the door and stand on the edges there inside and then potentially hurt yourself. And all you're going to do really is you're just going to get dirt and stuff inside your car when you really don't need to. So just practice, be safe. You know, if you have an SUV, these are really nice. The Gorilla version is a little bit smaller, probably fits in cars better, and everything. But this is great, and it's adjustable height, so big pickups, I could even hit that. And you got a little step ladder on the side. But anyway, let's get going here. And what I also have is I have my drying towel here. It's the Liquidator from the Rag Company today. And then I have, for some different views, I have my cell phone on my little tripod here so that you could see what's going on the roof. So anyway, let's get moving here. All right, so to start now, all I'm gonna do is take my sprayer, and I got plenty of dirt. In fact, let me show you here. All right, so as you can see here, I got plenty of dirt all over the roof here. Let's get going. We're gonna take our IK sprayer here, and I'm only gonna do half the car. And I'm only doing it to the roof edge here because I'm gonna be leaning over and I don't want to get that all over myself. All right, so on your sponge, you don't want it completely, you just want a little bit of drip here. That's fine, in fact, a little bit less. Now I'm gonna take this and we're just gonna start washing. And now we will take our drying towel and dry the first area off. All right, just like that, now we have a quarter of the roof done, and all I'm gonna do is now move my panel or move my platform forward a little bit here. And just like that, half the roof, half the windshield is clean. I'm gonna move around to the other side and just hurry up and finish that up, or finish up the other top half, and then I'll be done needing to use the platform here. All right guys, just like that, the whole roof is done now. The front windshield is done. I did have to speed that up for you because it would get really boring. But anyway, what we got now though is, I still have about half of my product left in here. I haven't had to refill it yet. My bucket's still good. So what I'm gonna do, I'm done with my platform, but now what I could do is just set it to the side here, and I could use this, or I am going to use it, to just, instead of bending down, I'm just going to use it to hold my bucket. And then since the roof is clean now, I have my towel up there, so when I clean everything, I could just grab my towel and go down. And I'm gonna start in the back here and just work my way towards the front. front hood done, whole top, all of one side, and all we got to do is hit the other side, the back, and then the very front here. So let's move you a little bit. All right, let's bring you to the back of the car. And by the way, these IK, the new 360 multi-sprayers are awesome. I don't know if the normal ones have, but this one has like a trigger lock. So you can, if you lock it, you can't press down and accidentally spray yourself with it if you go to pick it up or something. So that's pretty awesome. Just like that, now the back is done. The only thing left to do is the front end. All right, so let me show you something. Right now I see on the camera here 49 minutes and 50 seconds, and that includes all the time that I've taken to move this around, set up, and including the time that I spent talking to you in the back of the car before I even started. It is 49 minutes, and I think I made it. I don't see a whole lot of water. Nothing all over me. My pants are clean, and the best part, let me try and show you here. My boots are still dry. In fact, I see some dirt on them now from the parking lot here. So let me lift you up. So anyway, that is how you wash your car with Rinseless. You could do it anywhere. You could do it at the park like I did. I mean, look at this place. It's beautiful outside. There we go. 80 degrees outside, but nice and shiny. Got the back here done. Whole roof. Okay. Everything's good. Less than 50 minutes. Way less than 50 actually, because I gave you the intro there and set everything up, the camera and everything, and then refilled. I refilled with the bucket. And again, this was, I've only gone through 2 gallons in here. In my bucket in the back over there, there's still a gallon back there. So the next time I make up solution, I could either add just 4 gallons to that and have a full bucket, or I could just make 3 gallons and just reuse that, one. So anyway, don't overlook Rinseless wash, especially in the summertime. In fact, in the summertime, the Rinseless is going to be your best friend. You're not going to get water spots. You're not going to worry about drying in the sun or anything. You don't have to worry about any of that, because if you get overspray, like I did, I was spraying that side, the wind is blowing this way, you get it over here. all I did was come back and I just wiped it off and there was nothing left. So anyway, guys, thanks for watching. And you know what? Give the RRW a try for yourself. Hey, thank you so very much for staying with me this whole time, or at least fast forwarding to the end here and watching to get my final thoughts and to see if I actually got dirty or not, or wet. I really appreciate that, and I appreciate all the time that you guys spend and watch. And every one of my subscribers, I really appreciate it. And for all you new subscribers, thank you so very much for hitting that subscribe button. So I'm going to leave the products that I used today below in the links below. And I just want to say, you know, since you saw me use the Koshemi, you might have seen my previous video where I did the Absolute, the Battle of the Brands video. And I just want to say, today, on today's marketplace, there's dozens of rinseless washes. There isn't a bad one out there. There are some that perform, depending on how you want a rinseless wash to perform. Some are worse than others. But that's only because you like or prefer a certain feel to how the rinseless wash, or what you think how it should perform. Now, what I mean by that is, some people just want to feel perfectly clean paint because you're going to be using a drying aid with that, or you're going to spray some type of sealant on top of that. So you might feel or want a rinseless wash that's not going to leave any polymers on the surface or protection. Some of you guys want to use an SiO2 rinseless wash that's going to leave some type of protection. Maybe you wash your car twice a week with the rinseless, you use an SiO2, and really now you're keeping up on that coating, or you don't need to use, you know, a sealant or something. You're not buying that extra product. You don't need, and generally speaking, when you use an SiO2 rinseless, you don't feel like you need to use a drying aid. And then some people like polymer washes because they feel slick on the surface, just like an SiO2 wash, but on the dry off, they dry slick, they dry smoothly. There's a little bit of slick feeling left on the surface when you feel it, but it doesn't leave any SiO2 protection. So there's a lot of different reasons why there are people who like or prefer one rinseless wash over the other. But to say that one is bad or not is really not a valid argument. And you know, normally I try and say in my videos, hey, I really liked this or that about the product, the feel of this or whatever. It's a very subjective point, and it's a very subjective opinion, because that's what I like. I like feeling the slickness with the sponge, but I also like not having to use a drying aid when I use my towel. Now, if I like to use a drying aid, you know, I would choose probably the Fine Lab or the DIY or a couple other products out there that are more surfactant based versus heavier polymer based. So having said all that, guys, you know, and ladies, I really appreciate you watching, and I hope this video provided a little bit of education for you guys out there. And well, if you have any questions, leave them in the comments below, or send me an email at theoutdoordetailer. Actually, it's just theoutdoordetailer@gmail.com. So the Outdoor Detailer, there's no hyphens, no spaces. theoutdoordetailer@gmail.com. And again, I'm going to leave links to the products below. If you buy anything from any of my links, it doesn't cost you anything extra. It just provides, I think, a couple % commission for sending you to the places: Amazon, Armor Detail Supply, Detailed Image, DIY Detail, whatever it is. It just provides me with a little something to help me keep buying the products to create the content. So in any event, thank you very much for watching. You have a great day, and enjoy the weather outside. Enjoy keeping your car clean, and get out there and do it somewhere different. Try rinseless washing out in the wild. You have a great day. Bye.